All right, everybody, welcome back. Happy Friday. Going to take a look at Bitcoin here. So, got a pretty good crowd today. All right, yesterday I don't know if we went on uh, under the radar there, but yesterday's live was very, very good. I thought it was really good. We were interacting with everybody pretty well, and we basically covered this, this drop basically, right? So, for the last 15, whatever today is, 17th, 18th of February. So, for the last 18 days, we've been pretty much looking at these same exact levels. Right, we were looking we're looking to really build this uptrend that we're in now, right? Possible uptrend, and essentially that is consistent of a series of higher lows and higher highs. You obviously started down here, we ran it up to here with our higher high, and now we were looking to make a higher low. We were looking for this to be that higher low, but then we actually came up and put in a lower high, which was indicative of this move down. And from there, here we are, right? So from here, these levels that we were looking for, and that, in my opinion, we still could kind of see a couple more of them here to the downside. We were looking at this weekly pivot right here that was untapped, and then we had the CME gap, which doesn't necessarily come in right here. The CME is probably like 0.5% higher than this, give or take. It was within this realm, but this level lined up with that pretty well. Obviously, we took them both out. And we're basically holding this as resistance now, right? We're coming back into it. Drop below, little green candle right there, hitting our head on it. Well, the one thing about this level to me that I've been paying attention for is that, it's a big round number, 40K, give or take, right? We're sitting pretty much at 40,300, 400 right now. And this could be where we turn around, right? We're just paying attention to see how the price action reacts right here. But to me, we do have a major key level right below us that wasn't back tested after the break. And if you remember, we were looking at this level as our doomsday level, so to speak. And that was the level we were looking to regain back when we were doing this dance down here. This is when we came down to our volume target, our monthly NPOC, at about $33,000. We did not come down to the weekly below it, but so far we came back up and we regained these levels. Now these have some Y behind them, right? We got a 2-year key level right here, which is that $39,800 level, give or take. This is also basically our range low for our previous year, basically. So we basically just re-entered the range from last year that took us up to about 64K. And coming down and holding this level would just be basically holding the range lows. Losing this, however, so also in this regard, right, you have a level that's right below 40K coming down to this really, some may be looking towards this level, some may not be, but we break that key 40K psychological number, and it would probably make a lot of people really nervous that we'd be heading a lot lower. When in when in reality we have this really big key level right below us here at about 39,800. Now there is a volume target, however, just about $1,200, $1,500, I guess, under there, and that is right here at this weekly NPOC that we left at about 38,500 when we basically just shot back into this range. Right, so this was our range low right here. We fell out of it, and then we came back in, and we just basically shot straight up to the point of control. So we did end up leaving this previous weekly NPOC in that travel, so to speak, right at this level as well. We do have the range low, our current structural range low that we've been paying attention for. So there's some double stack support coming in here, and then we've also got another weekly NPOC down by 37K. And even if we did come all the way down here to this level, you'd still be putting in a higher low overall from this recent low right here. And, you could be looking up, but that would be a lot of ground to cover at that point. But these are the levels, right, that we're still watching. All of them have, pretty significant Y behind them. And if you do come down and lose this is also our our monthly open around here as well, I believe. Up here at 38. So at 38K and to 38.5, this is a really big level. If we do lose, and once again, this is like all within like $1,000 of each other, or $1,000 to $2,000 from where we are now, right? So that's 5% up, so it's probably not gonna be that to the downside. Yeah, you're talking about 5%, give or take, just between here and that $38,000 level. And then, another $1,000 takes us down to this level here. Now, if we do lose this level, then we're probably going back down to the lows and then some. But these are still the levels to watch here, right? So when we lost that one yesterday, it was a pretty good given that we were going to at least go down and fill that CME gap. And then we did, tap that weekly pivot right there as well. All right, down here at 38. So 38K, I just want to kind of talk about right here why this is not only do we have a really big just high time frame level of support right below us, and it's only about $200 away, right? $200-300 away from 40K. But like I said, right here does have some meaningful meaningful support behind it as well. So once again, we pay attention, we plan our reactions, we make that plan, right? So yesterday, a lot of people were planning for this inverse head and shoulders to bust out, and that was their only plan, right? I'm assuming. I don't know that for a fact, I guess. So this is something we talked about. And I'm actually going to switch over to a different chart and talk about this real quick. Before I do that, we're going to look at this, what we were looking for, right? So we are in a current range right here with this orange line down here is your range low, orange line up here is your range high. So essentially, we're looking to break this range high to enter into the next range, which is basically up here, right? This has got a point of control around $46,000. We've got a yearly key level up here as well, about 47. You've got the point of control of this range in general is about 49. Then you got your range highs at 50, but none of that really activates until we break through and regain this range high at about 46K at this point. So 45,900, let's call it really 46K. To me, is that go time, looking towards the next range here. So that's what I'd be looking for this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, that many were paying attention for before this fall, right? And I wasn't even looking at this until somebody brought it up on the stream yesterday, and we went over this idea. And you got the whatever though. So this is what everybody was looking for, but it wasn't fully completed yet. And this is what happens when you on trades and patterns like this, unless you're already just holding from for a while ago, or if you're holding from the lows, or if you're just an overall holder, obviously none of this stuff really bothers you or matters to you. But if you're like actively trying to get in, whether it's even on a trade or just get in and not lose 10% right off the rip, these type of patterns are basically breakout patterns, right? You really want to wait for this neckline to be broken and essentially retested, held as support, and then you're looking for continuation to the upside. Well, to me, this level right here lines up right at that range high. So to me, it wouldn't have been any different to just be waiting for that range high to be broken, and then we kind of have this would target out like 58K. Which is the overall previous year's point of control, basically. So I mean that's not an invalid target by any means, but there's a lot of ground to cover between there. But yeah, to me we were looking for 46K just for another reason, but I wasn't we weren't just only looking for 46K. That's the thing, right? I'm sorry for this inverse head and shoulders to break, but it did line up at 46K. But I guarantee you that nobody planned on this. So now what is your plan once? This pattern just completely melts to the downside, and depending on how you're going to look at it, it's like to me it's pretty invalidated at the moment, and until you start forming once again coming back around, and that's where we came in with this, right? So this has been last 17 days been talking about these exact levels, pretty much over and over again, and as we've been developing this price action, right? So obviously we weren't in this level 17 days ago. We've rallied all the way up to that point of control. We took it to the range highs. We came back down to the point of control, as well as this. I don't have the point of control posted on here, but it's pretty much right there, like 41.6, 41.8. So it's double stacking up with this quarterly key level right here. And we came down here, held that as support last weekend. Monday got a little pump, but we did put in that lower high, so that pretty much indicates that we are going to head lower, come back down, lose this level. You're looking to the next level, right? So we did have a CME futures gap from basically 2 weeks ago, right here, right? So that did get filled, actually. So I know many were looking for this, and then as we were coming down yesterday into this, we pretty much sat right at the fill. So about 40,000, 41K basically. We sat there for quite a while, and I'm assuming that this is where everybody was, like I said, looking for that to be the low, and then we dropped even further. Not that it's been substantial quite yet, but if we do start seeing that kind of roll over a bit, we're still looking down to this 2-year key level right below, and then this 38K level. I want to touch on this. I'm going to go ahead and knock off this NPOC and just kind of give a little bit of, idea behind this one too, right? Is that not only is this got a volume target at about 38.5 that we left from the previous weekly over here, you've got our monthly open, you've got the range low. So that's 3 things, pretty much 3 levels of support, so to speak, pretty high levels of support at that. This isn't just like a daily level or anything like that, right? We've got volume target, we've got a monthly time frame, and we've got our entire range low coming in right at this level. On top of that, I know this is, this one everybody's pretty familiar with, but you got a golden pocket of this entire move as well, from the 33K low all the way up to the 45, 46K high. This is that 0.618 level. This is right below that as well. So this whole zone right here becomes a pretty big target for the price action until we get, until we turn around basically. So it's whether it's going to happen or not, right? That's the question, and nobody necessarily knows that at the moment. We got to pay attention. But this is a probability, right? This is a possibility to me. So, like I said, between this 38.6 and let's just between this $1,000 of price action, there's a lot stacked here. So if we do lose that 2-year key level and start rolling down, just picture it, right? We get to this level right here, and everybody's probably going to be looking down. Everybody's going to be aiming and hoping and praying to get down to 30K. I think there's a lot of people that really want to buy in at 30K, right? So, and they might get it, who knows? But until we really get through this, I don't feel like there's too much to worry about in that regard. This is at this point another 5 or 10% move to the downside. So obviously, take that for what it's worth. So it's about 7%. That would make this entire drop 18%, which isn't unheard of after Bitcoin actually just rallied 40%, right? So, so that's pretty much the levels for Bitcoin, right? So, and then like I said, just with this being said, we can turn around pretty much, still right here at this 24 month level right here. We could turn around right here. So we just got to pay attention and see how the price action does react to these levels. We're going into the weekend, so very possible that we just kind of range around as well, or depending on how 2-day goes, right? You got the end of the week for the markets, the global markets and everything today. So we'll see how things kind of play out with that aspect. But that's what I'd be looking for. There's a lot of support right down here, but don't disregard this level as well. Right above us, and just in general, this is only about a $1,500, $2,000, whatever, window of price action here. So whether or not you look at it in percentages or dollar amounts, right, it's 5 or 7 more percent, or just $2,000 basically. So this whole daily live stream and everything like that too is just kind of meant to at least put some ease, hopefully put some ease to your minds, right? Because what happens is a lot of times we get to these levels. And you're not thinking that, okay, if you're not thinking and looking at this ahead of time, realizing that there is a volume target, a monthly level of range low, and a golden pocket right in this level, probably not the best place to sell, right? That's what I'll be thinking. That's what I think when we come into these things. But if you're not looking at this ahead of time and we just get a straight candle straight down, a lot of people panic sell here all the time. How many people panic sold? Probably. Just throughout this whole move yesterday, right? Maybe they didn't. Maybe everybody thought, okay, the CME futures gap just got to fill, but I kind of doubt that, right? Because it's when you get these fast moving candles like this, people freak out very fast, and just as much as they get very excited on these big green candles, right? So it's all about having that plan, and even if it's just mentally, just knowing. Having an understanding, I guess, about what's around you, because that's what I was going to say. Maybe it wasn't the big drop down to this level yesterday that made people panic, but how many people do you think panicked because this inverse head and shoulders did not play out, and everybody was buying in right here, assuming this was going to be a bull flag to some degree, right? You had this before this drop yesterday. You had like a possible little bull flag looking thing right here, and then the measured move of that would have took you straight up to the neckline of that inverse head and shoulders, right? So it's prematurely buying into some of these patterns can be very dangerous, right? So this is that when you want to really, granted, yeah, you'll miss 10-15% or whatever this was going to be, but at the end of the day, you get that confirmation and you don't end up holding that drop, right? So, and obviously, we talk about Bitcoin in correlation to the altcoin market as well, right? So like, obviously we need to understand what Bitcoin's going to do so we can look towards the altcoins as well, and so forth. So let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. All right, so ETH, same deal, just kind of just in the same range that we've been looking at for over a few weeks at this point, right? We've got our low that came in here with Bitcoin's $32,000 low. ETH has not put in a higher high at all, not even on a 4-hour time frame. Everybody's probably looking at this inverse head and shoulders here as well, looking to that like $4,900, $5,000 target if that was to break, and we got that pullback. So what really was more so going on here, I want to kind of take a look at this right here. So you got this smaller range that's been developing right here, and I'm going to show you this here in a second. But just on the higher level here, we got same deal, right? We've been squeezing between these two just really high time frame support and resistances right here. You got a 2-year average of price, you got a year average of price right here, and then you got your range high. You get your range high, your range low. So a lot of resistance and coming into this, and then obviously once we break out and hold this, that's a lot of support now below us. Really, there's nothing in the way. I don't want to say nothing, but there's not much in the way of the $3,200 breakout and this cluster of price action up here, which is about $4,000, $350 worth of price action. So from here, you got your yearly open, quarterly key level, golden pocket, and you got a point of control up here, a naked point of control. So that's the volume target sitting up here. Key to really looking up is breaking and holding above this $32,000 here, $3,200. I'm sorry. But if we do break lower, right, we got to look down to this monthly open. You got to look down to this point of control, and then depending on how things really play out with Bitcoin, right? So assuming that if we're getting down to these levels here, this is Bitcoin breaking down, right? This is Bitcoin dropping to that $38,000 level, which we just talked about the correlation in the amount that's pretty much sitting down there. And that's where we get down to here. So once again, we may not even see these levels, right? But it's just to be aware of it and kind of note what Bitcoin's going to do. But I do want to show you right here. I'm going to turn off all this, and we are going to look at this smaller range right here. Not only do you have such key support below you right here, you got your resistance up top. Pretty much that's still the range high. But of this smaller range right here, has been developing over the last pretty much this whole month. You got a range low coming in here, you got a range high coming in there, and then you got the point of control right here. So we've actually got like a smaller range coming in right here where we got rejected at the highs. Basically, you go back to the lows, hold the lows, you're running it back to the highs, rejected at the highs, where you're running back to the lows. So we're holding these range lows once again, and that does correlate basically right with the so the 1 year is right at the point of control, right? So that's a pretty big level right there of support and resistance now. And then you've got the 24 month obviously coming down here at your range lows. So now you got some pretty decent double stack support here with automatically a 2 year level of price right there. So not that we can't lose that by any means, but at the moment that is really strong support. So take that for what it's worth to you in your strategy. And like I said, paying attention to Bitcoin. Obviously, if Bitcoin does fall out to some of these lower levels, then ETH is going to as well. If we get that turnaround, sooner rather than later out of Bitcoin, then we're probably going to take off from here too. So just want to point that out there for ETH. Kind of been going over the same ones over and over here for the last few days, but just kind of wanted to show you how these are developing out, right? So Quant is an interesting one. And I go over a couple of these larger caps because they're pretty indicative of the whole market. So if they're looking like they're in trouble, generally that's pretty indicative that they're going to continue lower, and then you can assume that Bitcoin's going to continue lower as well. Just in that regard there. So we were looking a couple weeks back or a couple months back when Chainlink and ETH both looked terrible. They were looking like they were going to have a 20% drop, 30% drop. Well, if any of these large caps experience a large drop like that, that's pretty much, and that's pretty much implying that Bitcoin's got to have a fall too, because it's Ethereum doesn't just fall 30 or 40% without Bitcoin. So that's one thing to kind of utilize some of this for. But Quant, for one thing, just want to kind of zoom out a little bit and show you that our current price action, which is right here, right, this dotted red line, there is not much in between where we are and pretty much the next level of, you can see where the support lies right now. You pretty much got this resistance over here. We came in here and we held it as well. Not much in between us, in that regard. So zooming back in a bit, we don't even have like really any daily levels or anything in between. This is pretty much all the higher time frame support that we have right now, and pretty much we came down. We lost the monthly, right? Lost your monthly key level right here. This daily right here was slightly holding us down for a second. Up here, when we ran it back from basically the lows to the previous resistance, this is where everything melted down back in January, right? We lost this level and we just kind of completely melted down. That was a really good example of when you lose that support right there and there's nothing in between us, basically until right here. And that's where we basically fell down to. We're kind of in that same boat again. So unless we really see something, out of Quant here, and realistically that first step is, overtaking this monthly key level again, which is about $124. You might be coming into a little double bottom right here, but this is where you'd want to, really see an overtake again. You really want to look at 124 being reclaimed to continue to the upside. You could maybe, not even really, I was gonna say, you could maybe make a case that you're getting like a falling wedge or I don't even know. That's pretty ugly either way. In that case, we do have a golden pocket pretty much right below us. So that's about, it's so close that you might as well even just consider this is the only thing that to me would prop us up at all in the near term here, and that's pretty much down at like 113. So essentially where we've already been, maybe with $2 difference there. But yeah, I'd be looking for this little, this golden pocket right here, or possibly back down to the monthly open. Now, once again, to get down to these levels, this is a decent drop still, right? 15, 20%. That's implying that Bitcoin's probably running it down to that 38K level, 39, the levels we were looking at earlier. So with that being said, though, don't be super fearful about, if we do get down to this golden pocket again. You really can consider, DCA strategy, whatever, or we could turn around here, right? We don't have to make it all the way back down to this, this is the range low too, this orange line. So we don't have to make it all the way back down to this. And this is where a lot of people fail to, catch, you don't even got to catch the bottom by any means, but a lot of people fail to miss like this, because, you're worried about another, which is this would suck. Don't get me wrong, 15%. But if we don't get that, right, say we just come into this golden pocket and this is where we turn around, you're going to, risk missing out on some of the best, entries, even if it does go a little bit lower, right? But it's I always have some dry powder on the side, so to speak, and, to anticipate that. Or for anybody, I know that's the cliche, right, buy the dips or whatever. A lot of people can't do that, right? Most people are just fully in the market already. And they're just curious to know or anticipate where their assets are heading. So for me too, a lot of the list is to put out there so that you can put this into your mind or your strategy of when not to panic sell. That's probably just as important as when to buy almost, because once again we get a fast candle straight down to $98. What's everybody going to think? If you don't have these levels in mind, and the reasoning behind them, right, that comes right there. This white line is a point of control of this range. So this is our volume target. So this is our natural target. If we come down past this golden pocket here, pretty much. I mean, this is also, you can tell, like I said, this just a regular resistance as well. You come over here, that point of control lies right here, right on top of this level. So this is our natural target at the moment. We got rejected at the range highs, and more than likely we're heading back down to this point of control. May not make it, right? May turn around right here at this golden pocket, may turn around where we are now. But if we get to here, like if you drop back down to this 98 sub $100, this is a spot where some people may panic sell, right? That just only are anticipating, maybe they're looking at this like a bull flag or whatever, and expecting this to just pump out of here, and it could, but if it doesn't, this is not the place to panic sell, right? Like this is, once again, this is more than likely going to be the low between these two areas here. You possibly get a double bottom here, or you could even just be, you come back down to this monthly open too, where once again you want to live above the monthly open. So even if we come back down, it's still in good shape. You're coming down to your point of control. Say we turn around from here, you're still making a higher low, and essentially that's, you're building that uptrend there. So so just levels to be aware of here. It's really dependent on Bitcoin right now. I know it's really tough when Bitcoin's in these downtrends, because it just destroys any altcoin, right? You get a little glimpse of hope as you get these rallies with Bitcoin, right? This was a nice 80% move to the upside, but then it's superseded by probably almost a 40%, 30% drop. And once again, this could be where we turn around. I'm not saying it's not, but if we do fall back down at this point of control, you're talking about a 40% pullback. So think about how many people might have panic sold and then bought back in at the almost top, right? Some people may have been dropping it during these fast candles, because that's what jacks everybody up, the fast candles. And you get down to this level, and you're just assuming lower. And once again, we bring up all the levels here with Bitcoin and everything, and you do have to anticipate and be prepared. But at some point, this stuff does turn around. So this is pretty much it. We're really wanting to pay attention to Bitcoin here. We are going into the weekend, so the weekend price action is always kind of a mystery going in. A lot of times we do see more than not more than anything, because I guess that hasn't been the case recently, but you do tend to get some really nice altcoin movement as long as Bitcoin trends sideways throughout the weekend. So we'll just kind of see how things play out. But yeah, very, very possible, if we come back down into these levels right here, I would love to just kind of pull the just rip the Band-Aid, get it over with. Obviously everybody would, whatever we're going to come down to, and just bottom out and move on. But we may not see that today, right? Monday, if you're in the trading group, we got a big, time, blah, blah, blah. Monday's a big date. I'll just put it that way. Don't know what's necessarily going to happen, whether we're going to see a move to the upside, move to the downside. Could actually happen nothing, but in regards to a couple of the last big dates that we've noted, I'm sure that Monday's probably going to have some fireworks to some degree, but we'll see how it plays out. But regardless, this is what we'd be anticipating no matter what. Like I said, that golden pocket comes in here just below this level, so this is a really big area of interest, and it's not far away from where we are now. But don't disregard, right? This level of support coming in here, and who knows, we might not even come down to it at all, right? Maybe this is where we turn around, we get that run up. We're starting to look into order flow and open interest, which essentially almost it's mind blowing. I was up till like 2:30 last night with Max, our order flow specialist in the group, and it's very, very interesting to see what you can see in the market that way, right? So instead of trying to guess and utilize like the RSI or whatever, and see where things may occur, you can literally see where the market's going to turn around on anybody and everybody, which is pretty great. It's a pretty neat tool. Can't wait to utilize it more. All right, everybody. Well, if you're in the trading group, which I assume most of you are, because when we have a low attendance like this, usually it's pretty much everybody from there. I'm going to have a couple of new updates for you today, a couple new altcoins, and we'll see what the weekend brings us here. Hope everybody has a great afternoon, great morning, great evening, wherever you are. Until next time, cheers.